Hello, everybody. This is Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films. And I am celebrating lunch with one of my interns. Today is her last day, so we're having lunch. But I still have to show you some old 16mm films because that's what we do around this time every weekday. And my assistant, Kayshawn, scanned a bunch of films yesterday, and they were all from the same letter. Oh, my bread's done. And it's they all start with the letter A, the title. So we're going to watch today. We've seen this before, but it was a long time ago, and it's pretty awesome. It's All Bottled Up, then Applying for a Job, Artificial Respiration, which we showed some time ago, Air Pollution, a first film, and then Adjustment After Check Flight. So Adjustments After Check Flight, that is an aviation film. And I wish I could be there in person, but please know that I love showing you these films, and if you like what you're watching, hit the thumbs up. Hit the like. You can also subscribe. You can also send us some cash via the Super Thanks button in YouTube or via ko-fi.com/avgeeks or patreon.com/avgeeks. Or you can just keep watching films that we keep posting. We're posting 2 films a day. Some of them are ones that we watched on our show. Some of them are new things. So, we get little pennies of ad revenue from that. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back on Monday. Everybody take care. Have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. Bye.
When I was 8, I went over to a friend's house when we got home from school. When her father came home, he kissed her hello. Then she got him the paper and helped her mother make dinner, and I went home. I never knew what a father was until that day.
I never really understood it. Like, I didn't know what an alcoholic was or did, why he drank. All I knew was that he never paid any attention to us.
Yeah, and our mom was too busy drinking, too, or taking care of our younger brother. I was mad all the time. Took it out on my kid brother. I thought nobody loved me. I never got any love from my mom, except on my birthday once a year.
One day I was with this friend, Paco, and me and him went down to the beach, and we just started talking, And I was pretty low, and I brought this thing up. Hey, man, I'm not really free, because my mom drinks a lot, and I've got to stay home and take care of her. And Paco said, she's an alcoholic, maybe. Dumb me, I say, what's an alcoholic? He said, it's a person who can't stop drinking. They're sick.
At first, I was confused. When I thought of an alcoholic, I thought of some bum. Yet my dad was in hotel management, catering. All of a sudden, there was a lot of him being arrested. He was drinking around the house. I really should have known when he drank to get going in the morning and before we went anywhere.
An alcoholic is so much more insecure or immature or something. Their emotions weren't allowed to grow up. They say, I drink because you give me too many problems. Or I wouldn't drink if you'd only act right. If you got better grades, I'd stop. The alcoholic uses any excuse to drink.
I wish someone had told me when I was 10 that your dad and your mom love you a lot. And they're not drinking because of you, but because they have to. Inside them, I mean. You're not the cause.
When you're drinking, nobody's loving. They're just kind of crashed out. It's a family problem. The family is just as involved as the drinker, if they only knew it.
My dad used to take me to the baseball game. He had the best average in the ballpark. He averaged 2 beers an inning. I felt cheated out of a baseball game. And baseball was very important to me, so I hated him. But I loved him at the same time.
He was our father, but he wasn't there. Then he'd come home and fight with Mom. In the midst of all that, we'd come in and join the argument.
That's the main thing in an alcoholic family. Staying up till 2, 3 in the morning, arguing about us, about them, about their drinking. The best thing you can do is to find somebody you can trust to talk to. You know, who won't blab. Once you get it out, it's easier to deal with. There's some things you don't want to do, and that's one of them. But it's got to be done.
It's not hard to find someone. Like there's 12 million alcoholics in this country. Lots of them got kids. Just that makes you feel like you're not alone.
We can live a pretty normal life and love our parents without getting dragged down by their drinking. Are we gonna act or react? One of the big things, you know, is to be more of an individual, to go your own way. You have to detach yourself and say, I still love you. If that's the way you want to live your life, okay. I can't change you. Because you can't live anyone else's life. As much as I love you and as much as it's hurting, I have to let you live your own life.
I wanted my father to pay attention to me. So at first I got good grades in school. But he didn't care. So I gave up and I started getting bad grades. He didn't care then either. Finally, I started to make fun of him around the house. Dad did it. He beat me. I mean, it hurt. And I cried. But at least he paid attention to me. Finally.
If there's violence, the most important thing, and a lot of times I know it's hard for somebody who's 12 or something, is to leave. Split. I mean, get out. Go outside for a walk around the block or something. Go to a neighbor's. Especially if there's someone who understands. You gotta save yourself first before you can save anyone else.
Yeah. Find a friend you can talk to, do anything. But don't argue. Keep away from it.
If you can't leave the house, go to your room and sit there. If you don't have anyone to talk to, get out a piece of paper and just write out your feelings.
Just so you don't bottle them up inside.
For me, it was drugs. I was 14 when I began using. Drugs and drinking like my father. I was ridiculed in school a lot because I didn't have sharp clothes and things like that. Dumb things. And these people, the dopers, were the only ones who accepted me. When I was out of it, I could really laugh, you know, a lot. I couldn't do without it. Nothing was really funny then. It was my form of escape, but it was a trip to nowhere.
Seems there's like a lot of families where one of the kids becomes an alcoholic too. Partly it's around, you know, and your mom or dad is drinking it, so it must be okay. Partly it's because the kid wants to get even. It's crazy. The kid says, you're messing yourself up and getting down on me, so I'm gonna drink and mess myself up and get even.
drugs, drinking. If you're escaping, you can't help them.
Well, still, there isn't a hell of a lot you can do. Pouring the liquor down the drain isn't going to help. They just buy more.
Or saying, why don't you stop drinking? They've got to want to stop, to want help.
It seems cruel, but sometimes the best thing to do is let the alcoholic hit bottom. It's when we start covering up for them we let them go on drinking. Your dad keeps getting busted and you keep bailing him out. Or your mom's drinking and you tell the neighbor she's got a cold. Hey, that ain't gonna help.
Some hit bottom and go right on through, but most get miserable sooner or later and want to change. And when that happens, you got to be ready. One day they're sober, and they say something like, I wish I could stop drinking. I need help. What do I do?
When you ask for help, you have to know about the Alcoholism Council where you live, or Alcoholics Anonymous. At least have a phone number handy.
First, get yourself straight. That's pretty important. I realized I couldn't straighten my dad out unless I was straight myself.
That's your responsibility to the alcoholic. Get yourself straight. And know what help is. It's not in the bottle, or bailing them out of jail, or blaming them. It's not feeling sorry for yourself.
You can go on being happy, despite what your parents do. If you let what other people do affect you, all it does is screw up your own head.
I really think that the most important thing is for a person to know he can be himself and still be accepted. That's hard when you're 10 or 11 or even 12. But it's something you gotta learn first before you can help.
The most important thing is to like yourself, to live your own life and be happy doing the things you like doing. Your mom or your dad's drinking, you can't let it be your whole life.
It's like my folks live their own lives. I try not to worry about what they're doing, and that's hard, because I love them.
When you start nursing school? Well, it's not so bad. But I don't think I want to do this for a living.
Neither do I. That's why I took this job for the summer. Give me time to think. I didn't quite know what I wanted to do after I graduated.
Do you know now?
I think I'd like to do some office work. But I didn't take the business course.
Neither did my sister. And she's been working in an office for 3 years. Can you type?
Sort of. I took typing in school for a year. But I didn't keep it up.
Well, so what? You can always take a brush-up course.
My folks can't afford to send me back to school. I have to get another job right away.
Well, how soon's right away? 1 week? 2?
2, maybe 3 weeks. Why?
I've got a couple of ideas. First, go talk to the people at the State Employment Agency. Maybe they can help you on getting an office job.
That sounds good. What's the other one?
Before the kids come back, let's go take a swim.
Hey, good idea.
You were Margate Beach Club counselor. Now, what were your duties?
Well, I took care of the kids. I gave them swimming lessons, horseback riding, campfires, etc.
All right. Now,
The interviewer told me that the form she was filling out was pretty much like the ones I'd have to fill out when I applied for a job.
all right. Now, do you type?
Well, a little.
By the time she got to the part about job skills and previous work experience, there wasn't much to write in.
Can you take shorthand?
No.
No shorthand. How about machines? Can you run an adding machine or a mimeograph, the duplicator? Can you run any of them?
No, I'm afraid not.
I don't have to tell you, your skills aren't quite what we need. Have you ever thought of taking a business course?
Yes, but the thing is, I can't afford to be out of a job that long.
Well, that doesn't matter. You don't have to. Lots of high schools offer night courses, you know. You can take a night course, learn shorthand, brush up on your typing so to be faster, learn some of the machines. Do any of your friends work in the offices?
Yes.
You should ask them to keep their eyes open in case there are any jobs come up for you.
All right.
And in the meantime, enroll in a couple of good business courses, and you should read the want ads in the newspapers every day.
I have been, but they want more experience than I have.
That doesn't matter. You keep trying. Incidentally, our office has free aptitude tests and also free vocational counseling services. Would you be interested in that?
Yes, if you think it'll help me get a job.
I sure think it would. We'll make an appointment for you. How's that? All right? We'll make it for next Tuesday. Can you make it Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning?
That's fine.
All right. You come in and you'll see this.
This is a practice trial. Put your right hand on the first rivet and your left hand on the first washer. Ready? Begin.
Some of the tests were like the ones that I had taken in school, but some of them were new to me.
Ready?
I figured that even if I didn't pass them all, that I might learn something new about myself that I didn't know before.
Drop a pen.
The tests show that you do have an aptitude for clerical work. Probably something that involves a lot of contact with the public.
I do enjoy working with people. I think maybe I'd like to be a secretary.
Yeah, well, that's something to shoot for anyway. Although you'll need a lot more training first.
I've been taking typing at night school, and my speed is getting much better.
Now, beginning typist jobs require a minimum of 40 words per minute. You think of that fast?
Well, probably not.
Well, I would suggest that you don't apply for a job like that until you're qualified. In the meantime, how about a job as a cashier?
Well, I suppose.
Or how about a receptionist? Now, that would probably help in becoming a secretary.
That sounds much better.
Well, as soon as something like that turns up, we'll let you know.
How soon do you think that will be?
I don't know for sure.
Well, you see, I've spent most of the money I made this summer, and I can't keep living off of my folks.
I'm sorry, but I can't promise you anything definite. You shouldn't be hearing from us within 5 days or so.
I sure hope so. Thanks a lot.
Well, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Good luck.
I wasn't about to sit around waiting. I went to as many personnel offices as I could. For the ones I went to, they had either just hired somebody or wouldn't be needing anybody for at least 2 months. I was scared I'd run out of money before I found another job. One day I tried a private employment agency. I heard that they collected their fee from the employer instead of the employee. That's the only reason I went there.
I'm
sorry, my dear, but there's really not much that we can do for you.
At first, it was a real blow to me that even an agency didn't want me. After I thought about it, I couldn't blame her. She was just being honest.
Now, perhaps when you have completed them, you can come back to see us again and we could help you. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for your time. One day, I was really down. I went over to visit a girlfriend. We were looking through the paper and I saw an ad for a clerk typist. No experience required. So I rushed over without changing clothes. That was my first big mistake that day.
Oh, it's out right over there.
And of course, I didn't have anything to write with. May I borrow a pen, please? Another thing I forgot was what I call my pocket resume. It has all the basic information they ask you on an application form. Anyway, I forgot the name of my boss at the beach club, so I left that part blank. After all that, I was pretty nervous by the time they called me for the interview.
Ruth Fielding.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let me help you.
Before the actual interview, they gave me some tests. I don't think I could have passed those tests anyway. And after what had happened, I knew how I'd come out.
You didn't pass the typing test, Ruth, so I'm afraid we can't consider you for employment now.
I guess I should have left after I spilled all the stuff out of my purse.
Well, I'd like to think that wasn't so important to me, but to another interviewer, I don't know. The main reason is because you left some blanks here on your application form. We need to know that information as it relates to your work experience.
I know, but I didn't bring the information with me.
And you're not really dressed for an interview, are you?
Look, I rushed over here as soon as I saw the ad. Listen, I need this job, and I need it now.
If the job is that important to you, it's all the more reason why you should look presentable and dress appropriately. First impressions really count. You'd be surprised how important first impressions really are.
First impressions? That isn't fair.
I didn't say it was fair, Ruth. I just said that's the way things are. You know, interviewers aren't machines. We react to people differently, the same way you do. Good luck on your next interview.
Thank you.
And remember, when your typing improves, you can always reapply.
Okay. Goodbye.
A few days later, the state employment office called me about a receptionist job. I was pretty sure I was qualified, but this time I made sure I had everything I needed. I knew that I was going to make a good impression on that interviewer.
You scored quite well on your aptitude test, Ruth. And your physical exam's fine. When you were in high school, did you ever participate in any extracurricular activities?
I was on the swimming team and the tennis team.
How about in areas where you might have gotten some work habits, like the library, the cafeteria, or something like that?
I worked on the school newspaper for a while. I was one of the reporters.
Mm-hmm. What made you decide to get interested in office-type work?
Well, I like offices. I like the people that you meet, nice people. And it's clean and gives me a chance to dress well, and the money's good.
I notice here that you go to the Dorsey Night School. Are you preparing for some overall objective and working towards?
Yes, I'd like to be a secretary.
Okay.
May I ask you a couple of questions?
Sure.
The Consolidated Mobile, you build the mobile homes, right?
Yes, that's what we're most noted for, but we branched out into other areas.
Mm-hmm. The job opening that I'm here for, what is it? What area is that in?
It's in the service department, servicing this building.
Oh, I see. I see.
Look, would you excuse me a minute? I want to talk to my boss about something.
Of course. I knew he was talking about me, and I couldn't help wondering what he was saying. I thought I had done okay, and he had made it pretty easy for me to just be myself. but it seemed like he was gone for hours.
Ruth, I'd like to offer you the job as receptionist. First, let me tell you about the pay scale and vacation policy.
The salary was about what I'd expected, and he told me there would be raises every 6 months if you qualified for them. The rest of it, vacation and sick leave and all that, sounded good too. So naturally, I accepted.
Ruth, I'd like you to meet Pat Baker, Don's secretary.
Hi.
Ruth
Hello.
Fielding. Don, would you step in a minute, please? Don, this is Ruth Fielding.
Before I left, I met my new boss, Mr. Gould, and some of the other people.
Sure thing. Well, welcome aboard.
I was pretty
Start
happy.
Monday.
I had my first
find your way out all
real
right?
job. Bye, Ruth. Bye, Pat. See you Monday.
The first fundamental of first aid usually taught is artificial respiration, a means of imitating the natural breathing process. When breathing stops, our source of oxygen is cut off. If the body's vital organs have not been damaged, especially the heart, there is an excellent chance for survival. The important factor is that oxygen-rich air be taken into the lungs where the body's system can use it, and quickly. Any delay may be fatal. Knowledge of the respiratory system will help you to understand how artificial respiration works and why it works. The respiratory system is made up of 3 basic parts: the air passage, consisting of the nose, throat, and windpipe, the lungs, and a flexible diaphragm in the chest. Respiration, or breathing, involves 2 separate acts. The first is inhalation, when normal air is taken into the lungs. The second is exhalation, when used air is forced out. At the lower end of the throat, the air passes through the trachea, or windpipe, an opening that leads to the lungs. The second opening behind the windpipe leads to the stomach. This is the esophagus, or food pipe. The windpipe extends into the chest cavity, where it divides into the 2 bronchial tubes, one leading to each lung. After entering the lungs, the tubes keep dividing and redividing, ending in groups of thin-walled cells that are surrounded by capillaries. Oxygen from the lungs is absorbed by the capillaries. This oxygen in the blood is then distributed to all parts of the body. At the same time, carbon dioxide, a waste product of the body, is carried by the blood back to the lungs and released into the air within the cells. It then passes from the air cells when air is exhaled from the lungs. During inhalation, muscles in the chest expand the rib cage and the diaphragm flattens, thereby increasing the capacity of the chest. This creates a slight vacuum. Air then rushes into the lungs to fill this vacuum. Upon exhalation, the muscles relax, the chest shrinks, and the diaphragm bows, putting a pressure on the air-filled lungs that forces the air up and through the air passage. This breathing cycle takes place 12 to 15 times per minute in an adult at rest. Children breathe slightly faster. At the top of the windpipe is a flap called the epiglottis, which closes over the windpipe when a person swallows to prevent food or liquid from entering. When a person is unconscious, this flap may fail to act. For this reason, it is important that no solids or liquids be given, since they may enter the windpipe and cause strangulation. If the victim is lying on his back, his tongue may fall back on the epiglottis and close the windpipe. This can also prevent air from reaching the lungs. Therefore, always see that the tongue is pulled forward and the chin extended when a person is unconscious or when breathing is difficult. Breathing may be stopped as a result of a variety of serious injuries, such as electric shock, drowning, suffocation, and gas poisoning. Suffocation or asphyxiation occurs when the windpipe is blocked, or as in this case, from breathing harmful gases, such as carbon monoxide. Symptoms of suffocation are nausea, loss of consciousness, discoloration of lips and earlobes, the pupils of the eyes become dilated, and breathing stops. The victim is removed from the dangerous or gaseous area if necessary, and any obstructions removed from his air passage. Artificial respiration must be quickly started. This is the Holger-Nielsen back pressure arm lift, one of the 4 methods of artificial respiration recommended. Another method of artificial respiration is the Schaefer or prone pressure method. The Sylvester method of artificial respiration may be used when injuries or wounds may preclude the use of other methods. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation is considered the most efficient and practical method of artificial respiration because it provides more air to the lungs directly and immediately than any other technique. When a person has stopped breathing, don't waste time. Begin resuscitation immediately. Medical help should also be summoned. First, make sure the victim's tongue or any foreign object is not blocking the airflow to the lungs. Sweep your fingers through the mouth to clear away any obstructions. Lift up the head and tilt it backwards to its most extreme position. Pull the lower jaw forward. Keep one hand under the victim's neck to keep the head tilted back. Pinch the nostrils together. This prevents loss of air through the nose. Open your mouth wide, inhale deeply, and place your mouth tightly over the victim's mouth and blow into the air passage until the victim's chest rises. If the stomach bulges, air is being diverted into the stomach. Press gently on the stomach. This will cause the air to be released through the mouth. Then readjust the head farther back and try again. After removing your mouth, listen closely for the return flow of air. Repeat this procedure 12 to 15 times a minute for an adult and about 20 gentle puffs per minute for a small child. You should continue artificial respiration until the victim begins to breathe for himself. When a victim is revived, he should be kept as quiet as possible until he is breathing regularly. He should be kept covered and treated for shock until suitable transportation is available if he must be moved. When the patient is fully conscious, a stimulant may be given. 1 teaspoon of aromatic spirits of ammonia in a glass half full of water, or an ammonia ampule may be passed under the patient's nose. A doctor's care is advised during the patient's recovery period, as respiratory and other disturbances may develop as an aftermath. In some cases where the victim's jaws are clenched too tightly and the mouth cannot be opened easily, mouth-to-nose resuscitation may be performed. It is similar to the mouth-to-mouth method, except the victim's lips are sealed with the rescuer's index finger of the hand on the chin, and the rescuer blows into the victim's nose. Those who do not wish to come in contact with the victim's mouth may hold a handkerchief over it. This does not greatly affect the exchange of air. Remember, certain basic principles must be kept in mind when giving mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Clear the air passage. Position the victim for artificial respiration. And begin at once. In emergencies, everyone should be prepared to breathe for someone else, whether it be their own child, a neighbor, or a fellow worker.
Polluted air hangs over many cities. Dirty, smelly air often forms a layer with clear, clean air above. How does this polluted air bother us? Rubber products left out in polluted air crack. Paint loses its shine and color. The insulation on these wires has rotted off because of air pollution. Air pollution affects some plants. These two bean plants were raised in polluted air. While these two were raised in clean air. The dirty air from the city may drift out into the country. This pine tree, high in the mountains, is dying from city air. Where does all the air pollution come from? Almost anything that burns causes some pollution. Who needs to burn things? Let's look at some burning. See if you can tell who uses burning. Who uses electricity? who rides in trains, cars, buses, and airplanes. Who uses something made in a factory? Who lives in a heated home? Who uses the lumber from the sawmill? Who needs new highways? Who has trash to burn? Who uses things brought by truck? Who then is to blame for air pollution? We are learning a great deal about polluted air. Some places have scientists that spend their time trying to fight air pollution. This man is trying to find what kinds of impurities are in the air. Other men keep track of how much pollution is in the air. As we learn more about pollution, we can do more about it. There are many people trying to do something about air pollution. This man is checking the smoke from a factory. The air in many places is very dirty. How do you think it can be changed so that it looks like this? What will we have to do? Is there anything you can do?
check flight is the final proof of the job when any major repair or mechanical work has been done on a plane. You see, a lot of things only show up in the air. Any adjustments you've made have to be proven in flight. The pilot gives the plane a good trial flight, tests for everything, and if he finds anything that isn't right, he'll tell you about it as soon as he brings the plane down. Whatever may be wrong, the adjustments after the check flight are a troubleshooting job. For instance, one common trouble is nose heaviness. Instead of holding a normal attitude, a nose-heavy plane tends to descend all the time, so the pilot has to use the controls all the time to keep her in level flight like this. A common cause of nose heaviness is stabilizer trouble. To locate that on this plane, the first thing to do is set the control to neutral. Then check at the tail to see if the stabilizer's in neutral. If it isn't, the cable is probably slipping at the pulley in the cabin. Take off the handle and the cover plate first. Take a look at the indicator return spring. It might be weak or stretched. Inspect the stabilizer screw cable and wipe it clean of anything that might have made it slip. Then test the pulley for slipping. Now try the system through the whole range of adjustment. Run it all the way down and all the way up to make sure the cable is driving the screw mechanism correctly. Now oil the pulley in the cabin, but be careful you don't get oil on the cable. And put the cover back. Finally, set the control to neutral and close the inspection covers. Now, another time you may get a tail-heavy report. Tail-heavy means just the opposite of nose-heavy. When it should hold to level flight here, the plane tends to fly with the tail down, which makes it a lot harder to fly. Now, for one thing, too much weight in the luggage compartment will make the plane tail heavy. Take a look and see it isn't overloaded. But usually the trouble will be a badly adjusted stabilizer, and you'll have the same kind of a job as for nose heaviness on that. Then, of course, another check flight has to be made to prove the job. Yaw is usually caused by some kind of incorrect rigging, and in flight the plane doesn't hold a normal forward course. Instead, yaw makes it tend to crab all the time, the way it would in a heavy wind. So the pilot must constantly work the controls. To check the rigging, the first thing to do is level the plane. On this one, adjustable jacks go under the axle stubs. Your helper raises one wheel by pulling on the wingtip, and you slide the jack underneath. Then he pushes up at the outer end of the lift struts, and you place the other jack. Finally, you put an adjustable tripod under the tail wheel bracket. Now, take your level and a spacer and place the level across the cabin just back of the door opening with the spacer on the right side. Have your helper adjust the jacks until the plane is level laterally. Next, move the level to the left upper longeron and have your helper adjust the tripod at the tail until the plane is level fore and aft. Finally, recheck the lateral level. A yaw tendency might be caused by several things. One is the alignment of the fin. Run a plumb bob down its trailing edge and check its alignment. If that's all right, you check the level of the stabilizers next. Set the level along the trailing edge. Okay on this one. Now the other. And that one's all right too. If they were off, you'd have to adjust the brace wires, of course. Another possibility here is unequal dihedral in the wings. Take the bevel protractor and set it to the specified number of degrees for the plane. Measure the dihedral of one wing. Yes, it's okay. Now try the other one. Now this one's high. Okay, your right wing is out, so you have to take the bolts out of the lift struts at the fuselage. Then, while the helper holds the wingtip for you, you adjust the front lift strut until correct dihedral shows in the wing. A yaw can also be caused by badly aligned ailerons. To check them, center the stick in the cabin first, accurately, by measuring the distance from the side of the cabin to the stick. Then check the droop on each wing, and if one is out of line, like this, you have to adjust the aileron cables. Let out one turnbuckle a couple of turns and take up the other until the aileron shows correct alignment. Then, safety the turnbuckles, and the plane's ready for another check flight.